Make the ship go.
Yeah.
It go fast.
You're strong now.
Make internet flow.
Teeth are for chewing. I had a couple pulled this week.
Sorry, Janeway.
My hat is bigger.
Alrighty. So we'll be a little short on stories. I had a lot of them planned, but just no time to write them up. So we've got a couple of things here. And I'll be throwing more links into the news articles later on.
Hey, we should be sharing this too. And talking to people. Hey, everybody.
Well, hey, everybody there.
I shared.
It's nice to share.
You said more links. Was that related to Lance Link?
Oh, Lance! Madam!
Look it up, kids, if you don't know what we're talking about.
Lancelot Link, Chimp.
Chimp.
It's kind of odd to be a parody of Get Smart, which is a parody of James Bond. It's really weird.
No chimps were harmed in the making of that show.
Just the audience for watching it, I think.
Oh, look at there. CBS is ending the Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Oh.
That's weird. I was just thinking about that. I was like, wonder how long that he's going to go on doing that show. And I was watching as an interview with Joaquin Phoenix, and anyway, I cursed him.
Well, I'm ready on this end.
All right. We
ready?
all set on sound levels and so forth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Level. All right, everybody speak something.
Something
in the way. Oh, we can't afford that either. What am I
Yeah.
crazy?
Actually, we're all pretty the same level. If you look at the people button onto the side of the StreamYard,
I've got the people who need people button.
There's only 3 dots.
What?
Down. Oh, I'm looking at the bottom.
No, click the people button on the right-hand bar.
We have people?
And you can see that our volumes are about the same.
It's magic.
It's what gets recorded on this end. That's the important.
And I see 2 Chucks and a C for Clinton. Clinton.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So
ready?
Count it if you want.
5, 4, 3, 2.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 183 for Friday, July 18th, 2025. Coming up in this episode, surprise, a collectible that isn't Badgie. Ooh. A big helping of Gorn. The continuum continues. All that and more right now on The Topic is Trek. We were Gorn, but now we're back. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it. Sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. I am Clinton, one of your co-hosts on the show. And as I always say, well, I don't say it like all the time. I don't walk up to somebody and say, hey, you know what I always say? I always say that in order to be a co-host, you have to have other hosts with you. And they go, I just want to know if you want any change. That's anyway, beaming in to join me from parts unknown with the hip new catchphrase that all the kids will be talking about, maybe on the TikToks. I don't know the kids these days. Mr. Craig Stepp.
If you build it, they will come.
Well, it could have some uses. I mean, you build starships and you build worlds and
everybody comes. They wanted to destroy your planet, and Yeah.
That probably is the downside of that whole building thing, I suppose.
yeah, that's right.
And also joining us from more parts unknown, different parts unknown, other unknown parts
Unknown parts in Phoenix.
is Mr. Chuck Tomasi.
If it has a mute button, Craig will leave it on.
End of the hip new catchphrase? I don't know.
Didn't quite leave it on the whole time. I got it on.
So, how have you gentlemen been since last we spoke? Well, we spoke last night, but that's a different story altogether. But
Well, I was starting to have withdrawal symptoms from Star Trek, and all of a sudden it appears.
Enjoy it while it lasts, because we've got 9 weeks of Star Trek and then another void.
How can you have withdrawal? You've got Paramount Plus.
Well,
you've
I meant for
been
New
watching
Trek.
movies the last couple of weekends.
No, I meant for New Trek. I know we've talked about it on the show, looking forward to Strange New Worlds, and I had it on my calendar when it's coming, but there was a time there I almost forgot it was coming up, because it's been 2 years, right?
Yeah,
So,
almost. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just ridiculous. I mean, New Trek. I want to see some New Trek.
Well, speaking of movies, one of the things we didn't talk about previously is that on Pluto TV, I think it's a bit strange, but they have an entire channel that is the Star Trek movies.
Oh,
So I think they just run continually from the motion picture through Beyond, and then it just loops again and starts over. I've dropped by there a couple of times just to check. Is it still a channel? But it was last, I think it was like 2 nights ago. Yep, it's still a channel.
And they
How
had-
long it lasts.
Did they not have Strange New Worlds also playing on the Trek channel?
Well,
for a
they
while?
the season 1 of Strange New Worlds is on YouTube for free right now, so they probably also have it on Pluto TV.
I thought it was until today,
Yeah.
until the show came out.
Yeah,
So, and I thought the same thing about YouTube. So I think it may still be on there. But
Which
it was
makes
one of the, I subscribed to the Paramount YouTube channel, excuse me. And, I always get YouTube recommendations on my subscriptions page for shows I don't watch. And then all of a sudden they release a whole season of Star Trek. And it's like, that's all it is. It's just Star Trek top down. It's like, man, they're taking over my subscriptions page.
yeah. Well, they want to get the word out, I guess,
Well, yeah.
which makes some sense. So speaking of which, we have Trek to talk about, and we have 2 Treks to take. Yeah, okay, that works for me. That's a good enough segue. So we're going to head out on main mission part 1 with an appropriate sound effect.
sound effect, sound effect, sound effect.
You have to dust that thing off. It's alive, alive. And who wants to give us a rundown on this first one?
I'll do it.
Okie dokie.
right.
We're doing main mission part 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is Star Trek Strange New Worlds Hegemony Part 2, written by Davey Perez and Henry Alonzo Myers, directed by Chris Fisher. The Enterprise crew must try to rescue civilians and fellow crew members from the Gorn while in sickbay, Captain Batel fights for her life. All this while the possibility of all-out war with the Gorn hegemony continues to grow.
That's a very concise. I wrote that. That's very concise indeed.
Well written.
Especially for an episode that I don't know seems to be going in 12 directions at once here.
There was a lot in this episode.
There was indeed an awful lot in this episode. So we're going to, I don't know exactly the best way to, I kind of broke things down by the stuff in chunks of like what happens with these characters and those characters. But I first want to start off with, obviously this is the second half of a cliffhanger.
I'm sorry, that picture, he looks like he's taking a selfie.
He is. Well, he can't look out the window. Oop.
He looks like one of the gremlins.
Don't get him wet. Don't get him
A
wet.
stripe on him. And he's
So how do we feel about the fact we waited 2 years to see how they resolve this cliffhanger? And basically first of all, we saw most of it because they released a lot of that if not all of that first scene, like
Yeah,
some
wasn't
time
there like
ago.
a sneak peek, and it wasn't just a trailer. It was like the first 5 minutes or whatever of the show. Kind of
Basically
Right.
picking up from where we left off with
Yeah.
Pike on the bridge going,
Yeah, we gotta do a thing about the thing. So basically, they end up putting this. Now I couldn't catch the name of the rare element that contained the bosons. I didn't have the captioning on, so I didn't get it. But they delivered this thing, which essentially allows them to track the Gorn ship, and they deliver it via a dud torpedo that they get on board the Gorn ship by ramming into the Gorn. There's a lot of things about ramming the Enterprise into things. They
like chicken.
I know.
just kind of
Chicken.
should have the
Yeah.
that blunt end like the cleave ship, the Klingon ship that just kind of it's a
Yeah.
slicer right in the front there.
They actually they inserted the ship in several places that didn't belong in this episode.
I
Mhm.
guess, yeah, that we know the flaw in shield technology now. It's not good at close range.
Well, it's apparently if you get the right frequency tuned in to disrupt it, it seemed like it wasn't that they disabled it, but somehow they weakened it enough to, with the giant mass of the ship, just kind of
Yeah.
barge the way
They
through
should
it.
explain that when the shields collide, it temporarily takes them down because they're trying to.
And you really love that
match
scene
harmonics and
apparently
stuff.
because you've got hearts now after you do it.
Right, shields collide.
All right, so let's talk about these different aspects of the episode, if you will. The first one I want to talk about is the pairing of Scotty and Pelia.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it. Those two play together so well.
So this is interesting because we got a hint of it in Hegemony that this is not the Scotty that we now know. We know that he's obviously very good at creating these last minute things to get something done, and it works.
That, and he's mostly sober.
Well,
That's the next episode. That's the next
yeah,
episode.
yeah. So, but it seems like he's got a lot of issues aside from that, and that he only works well under pressure,
Mhm.
and he doesn't write anything down. I mean, Peli is like, here's a list of my things that are your faults. That,
Well, in all fairness, he was under pressure to save his own skin, and he's slapping things together. You don't exactly stop and write documentation.
Hey, that's what I do.
Yeah, right.
yeah, I thought it was a bit much to request that while you're under attack and you're trying to like jerry rig something together to say, oh, I'm going to stop and note exactly what I'm doing here.
That's what engineering is. We always write things down. She's chastising him and going like, yeah, okay.
Hey,
And
by
then
that,
she almost gives him a heart attack.
couldn't they just use AI in the future and just
Yeah.
put a camera over him so you can see what he's doing?
I did like that scene where he's like pulling this connector out and turns it around. Like, did he just reverse the polarity?
He did.
Yes.
He did.
And then
That's
she
exactly
comes
what I
in
mean.
with her hair on fire. The Gorn are coming! The Gorn are coming! We're all gonna die! And he starts slapping things together really fast.
That's right.
And he goes, that works now. Tell the bridge.
Like 2 seconds later, hey, that's right.
But he obviously did not like that very much, and he's just kind of sulks away. Just is like, well, you're not my CO, and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And he just
She
kind of-
died on the Star Diver, and then he has to excuse himself.
yeah. So I think we've got a ways to go to get our Scotty in this thing. But it was interesting to get that dynamic. I mean, I think it's the most we've had from Peli in quite a while. In addition to that.
Yep.
Okay, so now one of the big things that happens in the cliffhanger is that Captain Batel is now a receptacle for Gorn babies,
Impregnated with Gorn babies.
and they have to figure out what to do about this. And they run into snag after snag, and of course, Chapel is a bit out of a fish out of water here because Dr. Mbenga is on the Gorn ship, and she's trying to hold down everything and try to solve this problem that has never been encountered before.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying all different things. We find out that apparently you can be allergic to cryoserum. And so they couldn't put her into stasis. Battelle into stasis. So the clock is still ticking on getting this stuff done. And
I
Spock goes
thought
down
the
and gives her a
serum that they
hand.
gave her was supposed to, it was like a cure for the Gorn thing because she told her, you're going to go to sleep. And when you wake up, you'll be Gorn free.
She was
Well,
putting her into cryostasis.
Right. So there was a preparation for putting one into cryo sleep.
Okay.
And when she had a bad reaction to it, which I thought was interesting, that they specifically called out a drug that you can actually, use
You can buy
for
today.
things. Epinephrine, which you would
Oh.
take for an allergic reaction. So
True. Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. That there's not some high tech future thing. It's like something you could.
She's infected with the Gorn. Give her an antihistamine.
Yeah, really.
Here's 2 Dramamine. Call me in the morning.
Now they try a bunch of they run a bunch of scenarios on her, and everything's coming back. Possibility of death of, the captain 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
that didn't look good.
Probably not good. And they strike, it's Chapel that strikes this idea of using Illyrian blood,
Mhm.
which I had some, I wouldn't say concerns, but I felt like we've tread this ground before. And the first thing that came to mind was using Khan's blood to bring back Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So
Yep.
you've got these augments with their blood, and look what the things that they can do with that. But
we just
you
keep
can't
more
have
of them
them.
around.
Well, they don't. It's illegal apparently. So
Yeah.
it's weird because it's like you need them, but you don't want them around. type
Yeah,
of thing.
it seemed a bit loose considering we had an whole episode dedicated to the court sequence and the legality
Mhm.
of it, and it's like, well, since we're not officially on a mission, maybe we can use it.
Yeah, they
I
certainly
think
paved the road ahead of time because this is the kind of thing I think Starfleet didn't want to happen, or they didn't want augments hanging around.
Well, I think in the trial, basically it was accepting Una as a refugee, right? Not so much the fact that she was an augment. And I think that these issues still persist, and obviously they're going to persist well into Picard's time. But it just seemed, if you let them kind of help out, like maybe would be beneficial at some points. I don't know. Then Spock suddenly interrupts the whole process.
Stop. Wait.
Yeah, don't do that thing. Which was they were going to try to extract the Gorn babies from Battelle on the operating table, and that's the point at which Spock goes, "Hey, I've got another idea.
Leave him there."
Yeah, just leave him in there." So I didn't quite.
Wait, everything's fine.
I didn't quite get all of this because they were saying that, okay, so the concept was the Gorn are bursting out because they need to feed. Well, what if we feed them while they're still there? And they said, and when they are no longer in defensive mode, dissolve them. And I'm thinking, why couldn't you dissolve them when they were in offensive mode?
Yeah, why do you have to feed them for a while?
So I didn't.
But I did get the idea that they were going for, because I do know that if you have some dead tissue, your body will reabsorb it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that's not the thing, but it's like, okay, you were going to feed them. Okay, that might stop them from trying to burst out for a while, but it changes them and that allows you to be able to dissolve them.
Mm-hmm.
Or were they saying that, well, if they're not actively doing something to Battelle's body, like trying to burst out, that the body would start to just view them as an invader and dissolve them itself? Is that more like what it sounded like was happening?
It sounded like they were going to let them die off, and like you said, just their body would reabsorb it, which I don't know if I'd want to live with knowing that my body reabsorbs some Gorns.
Gorn DNA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could come up to be a problem. Then Pike.
Hey, she's sleeping at night beside Pike She starts scratching her
Yeah,
neck.
really.
Ah, something ain't right.
Why do I have all these extra teeth all of a sudden?
Yeah.
It's just really, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Pike comes in to see her. He's very concerned, and we have Pike now. They're much more learned people than me, but it seemed like he was about to perform the anointing of the sick.
But he was just starting the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, but I think he was like, saying, "Okay, Dad, you win," and it seemed like either he was praying for her or because he was very surprised that she suddenly woke up, and I wasn't sure which aspect of that he was going for, but because it was I think wasn't he raised
He was.
as
He comes from a family of faith.
He
right?
said he was an altar boy.
Yeah. I think he mentioned that in the episode where they went down to the planet that was the civilization that had gotten moved off of Earth.
Yes.
With the Red Angel. Okay. And then Batel is obviously upset that they use the Elorian blood, and Pike is like, look, we can debate all this stuff all you want to, or I can just hug you,
Yeah.
I just, did what I had to do because I don't want to lose you. And that was a tender moment there with Chris and Marie. Then we have Una and number one. No, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. Uhura and number one, and they're doing all this research on how the Gorn do what they do so well, or why they do what they do. And they discover that there's a direct correlation between coronal mass ejections and
waking up and having activity.
Right. And they suppose that means that something similar would put them into hibernation mode. And I think they're a bit shocked when, Pike goes, okay, we're going to do that. And Uhura says, well, it's just a theory.
Yeah. She's like, whoa.
Didn't run a lot of tests on this.
Yeah. We didn't do the scientific method with this. We need to control Gorn.
All right. So the concept here was that, let's see if I can. So Pike's solution is figure out what type of radiation signal will put the Gorn to sleep. And then Pike tells Pelia and Scotty that the Enterprise needs to become a coronal mass ejection X-flare. And I'd never heard of X-flares before. I didn't get a chance to look that up. Did either of you look up what an X-flare was?
Sounds like a good band name.
I just took their explanation for it.
Okay. Dr. Aaron.
Check with Dr. Aaron.
Dr. Aaron took care of all that part of it.
Hand waving.
Yes. And so Scotty says that what they're talking about, turning the ship into an artificial star, is nearly impossible. And of course, this is our first glimpse at this whole concept of Scotty. Oh, here's a problem for Scotty. And he just goes, well, you need to do this, this, and this.
I've got the theory.
Yeah. And Pike is just standing there, like listening to them go back and forth about, well, we do this and do this. Of course, you'd have to do that and the other thing. And he goes, but of course, you could also blow up the ship. Well, we'll just
turn it off before it blows up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Which
he screams at them, turn it off when they need it turned off.
Hey, well, okay. So you bring up the point about Scotty, offering an option or perhaps option. One thing that kind of bugged me about Pike, as opposed to maybe Kirk or other, or even Picard, any other captains, especially Janeway, is that he wasn't coming up with ideas. His whole team was, and he didn't seem very helpful, except for going, "Oh, let's do that one."
I don't have a problem with that.
I think
that's kind of a good leader. You take advisement from the smart people around you, and I liked seeing the whole bridge throwing ideas in. I mean, you had Mitchell and everybody was throwing ideas out there. So he was. It
just seemed like I just didn't think he was. He looked more frustrated than helpful, is what I'm.
Well, I think he was frustrated that he's got a. I think they made a point of pointing out that he was kind of preoccupied. He's lost some of his crew, or doesn't know what's happened to the crew.
His girlfriend's infected.
And his girlfriend is infected in sick bay. So he's kind of like, I'm not focused enough on this stuff, so I need ideas. But when we talk about that, I mean, yes, Scotty and Pelia are going back and forth about it, but he's the one that said, this is what we need to do. He doesn't know how to do it, but he knows this is what they need to do. And then he calls on the experts to say, okay, this is what we need to do. How do we do that?
Mm-hmm.
And that happens. Yeah, I think that's been very consistent with Pike's character. Even when he was on Discovery, he would like get opinions from the bridge crew about how to do stuff.
No, I understand it's a good characteristic of a leader to listen to their people, but like we've seen Janeway, who was assertive, and she would stay up all night and days at a time trying to work on a problem. Or
we have to remember she also had a science background too. She was a science officer,
right? Yeah.
So different background, different experiences is going to lead to different outcomes.
Yeah.
Right. And Kirk wouldn't always have the idea. He would lean an awful lot on Spock or McCoy.
He would execute the idea, but other people, I understand he didn't do that as much, except for some of the scenarios. He would go, "Hey, this is how we can get out of it."
It would talk his way out of the, make the computer let out the magic smoke.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
Yeah. So like, it's a different style, right?
Mm-hmm.
that he's doing. And so they decide to go in, and they're going to position themselves between this binary star system, because they'd seen the Gorn go through.
And they kind of disappeared. Like, what was that all about?
Well, it seemed like what happened was because they were having this conversation, like in the background, Mitchell and Una and I forget what Uhura and maybe Spock were talking about the fact that so they let the gravity or the pull between the two stars in the star system pull them in, and then they seem to disappear, but that was essentially because of the slowing down of light. So you can't really see them anymore. Although I think usually at the event horizon of a black hole, the thing doesn't seem to move and it seems to stay in the same place.
Right.
But it seemed like it was propelling them forward, because after it went through, then it came back, but it came back with all the other Gorn fighters. So I think it was using it as almost like a jump gate, maybe.
That's kind of what it felt like.
But the Enterprise didn't do that. It just parked itself in the middle between the stars and then tried to emit this
light up.
Right. This X flare. And of course, everything's going crazy, and they have to turn off the thing that cloaks them. Now, I'm not exactly sure. Did they have to do that, though? Because they're cloaked. They're calling the ships back, right? They're basically saying, okay, you need to go hibernate now because we're putting out this signal that it's time for you to hibernate. So they passed by the Enterprise and headed for their home world. Why did the Enterprise have to turn off its, we're one of you guys, don't need to worry about us?
Yeah, they're
didn't Scotty's device work with the shields? And so if they worked with the shields, they had to turn the shields down for the radiation to attach.
Well,
to the
yeah,
ship.
I suppose so, because they basically had to turn every single thing that they could on the ship, the deflector rays, all that stuff, into this collector
emitter kind of thing. Yeah.
To get, okay. So they had to turn it off because, I guess because it was one or another. All right. Good point. Good point on that one.
Yes.
And so they put them into hibernation, but Pike points out,
we're just making a future problem.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, you could every couple of 10, 20 years, go back to the binary star system, pull the same trick again and send them back into hibernation. I don't know. Well,
the only one Gorn came back and we saw Kirk fight him. So within this timeline,
he was
thanks, Metron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have all the stuff going on the Gorn ship, which got very, very creepy.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah, we had.
Like,
Don't look now, you're in it, Clinton. I see it
Yeah,
on your.
it was
Yeah,
it was an
I
alien
know.
moment.
I'm getting very nervous here because
Yeah.
I'm right in the middle of this thing, so we
Yeah.
need to talk quietly. Yeah, we get to see. I couldn't tell. Were we to infer that Tegas's hand was part of this digestion going on, or was it an
Yes.
injury? Okay.
Well, she had some scarring, and her hand was dissolving. That's where she was losing
getting
part of her
eaten.
fingers.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's freaking out about it, as one would.
Me too. I was
About
like,
some-
don't. I was like, don't kill her off. Don't kill her off.
Well, it's interesting because this episode seemed to be giving a little wedge in here about something that may happen, because
Mhm.
she suddenly is very hesitant about doing this stuff. You know, they come up with the plan. The plan is going to be that they're going to steal a ship. They're going to, get off of the Gorn ship, and then they're going to transmit the information for the transporters on the Gorn ship to the Enterprise and all this stuff.
Let me just
And
say that I'm glad to see the Gorn ship has such lax security as a usual Federation ship. That you can just
Yes.
All these
walk
people will
up to
be
any
fine here.
terminal and grab the transporter codes. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think right after she got those codes, that's when they all seem to appear. I
Hey,
think it's
They
like
should have
that.
sent Jordy in with his visor and
Yeah.
get the harmonic frequency. Oh, there we go.
Because I think that I remember that right after they were done with that, then the swarm
Yeah.
came in.
It was like the alerts went off as
Yeah,
soon as
shortly
they
thereafter.
reached
That's right.
Right.
security.
But Ortegas is like,
Well, Lon
this is
took that thing.
this is a
Lon
plan.
took that piece, whatever it was attached to that
It's
computer.
like a weapon
Yeah.
that was undigested.
Oh no, not that. He's talking about
No.
when she got the codes that
It had the
pieces-
codes on it, and it
It's like a
showed.
little
Oh, right. Okay.
portable version of that. Yeah, they got their weapons out of the trash.
Basically out of the puke pile.
Yeah, pretty much.
dumpster diving.
But when they come
Okay.
up with the plan, Ortegas is very much like, this is a good plan, right? This plan's gonna work. And she's very like nervous about the plan, and she's, just seems to be not sure about stuff. And she's, oh, of course I can fly the ship. And then she gives this like side eye of like, well, they're not looking. It's like, oh, I'm assuming I can fly it, but I don't know. She's very,
No.
very
No,
doubt-
Lon asked her, said, "You'll be able to fly it. You can fly anything, right?" Yeah. And she was like,
Yeah, don't insult me,
"Told me."
please.
Yeah.
But then after she realizes everybody's turned away, she's like looking, oh, what have I got myself into? Like, I'm not sure I can do
Just to
this.
say her mantra.
So I don't know. Did you guys get the opinion that in this episode, because this is even before next episode, that something's off here? I don't know whether this is flashback from the war or the
With
fact that it's-
Ortegas?
yeah, it's like she's
I'll be honest with you. I thought they were foreshadowing her or killing her off in this episode.
Yeah.
And they came close. And especially with the end when she was like, I fly this ship. I was like, no.
she's bleeding out all over the console, and it's
Yeah.
like,
I was yelling at the TV, no, don't you do it. No. And yeah, so
but it definitely felt like there was something up in this episode.
well, I also kept thinking of when Boimler was like, "Oh, you're a war hero." And I was like, this is how she's the war hero. Something's
Mm.
gonna happen here. And so they're gonna kill her off right now.
No, I
And-
thought war hero was the war hero from the Klingon War, because she always talks
perhaps,
about
but I was like, Boimler, he can know anything. So because of he was from the future, but I was like, this is how they're gonna kill her off. Oh my gosh. So gotta put Sulu in there somehow, right?
yes. Well, next episode we're going to get into a little bit more
I fly the
foreshadowing.
ship.
Um,
Oh my.
I'm sorry, Clinton. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that's okay. I'm just saying that we'll get to that in the next
Mhm.
episode. We also then find out a bit about, well, why is Starfleet so hesitant about this whole Gorn thing? Because Pike and April are having a conversation.
Oh, that was a good exchange.
And we find out that, well, the fleet is a bit thin after the war.
After the Klingon War.
Yeah, so they don't really have the resources to, like, if they get involved in another fight, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
And Pike says, yeah, that's what the Gorn are counting on. We're weak. So, of course, you're going to attack when we're weak. We have to push back. And April says, officially, you can't do anything. Unofficially, find something to do.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
find some way to punch back on this whole
Mhm.
thing. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. We got to see a nice star map in there as well.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you look closely, it had some key names. It said Cestus on there. So we're giving hints to, future episodes past episodes of TOS.
Mhm. All right. So overall, what was your opinion about this
Well,
after the
wait a minute.
long wait?
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
I have
Yeah.
one thing to bring up. The intro was different in this show.
Yes.
There were different scenes as
Yes,
the ship's flying around and
I had a
Klingon.
couple of them in the video that I was playing before. Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
we had one where we see a Klingon battle cruiser.
Well,
Yes.
at first I think it was just ice on the hull or something like that, but
Yeah.
it looked like the hull was. It looked like it's damaged. I was like, okay, they changed the intro for what's been going on since since the last episode.
Well, it's
but it wasn't
interesting
quite like that.
because some of the imagery never changes between seasons.
Hmm.
Like that flying through the clouds, wherever it would be in space. A couple of those shots have always been there, but
Yeah.
other ones, sometimes it's something that's in the season and sometimes it's not. So it's interesting to find out which of those might be in the season. And we know there's the Klingons coming up in an episode at one point because we saw those in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's why we have that one with the Klingon ship kind of hiding and going after the Enterprise. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had that. We had the shot where it's coming away from a sun and there's a comet, a big ball of ice like on the other side of it. We see a new shot of the space station, right? Because we see a big close up of the section that we see in the next episode, and more ships around the station than we've seen in the past. So
Mhm,
that has
that's right.
changed.
Yeah.
And I think there was one other shot in there as well.
Actually, I don't even think did we see the space station in the previous intros? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
we did.
yeah, we have it's kind of from the side. You would see the top of the dome
Mhm.
and the interior of the Enterprise was going by it. So yeah,
Okay.
we did see. I don't think that shot changed in the seasons. I think this is the first time we've had a new look at it, but I could be wrong. And there might have
Well,
been one.
It has been 2 years since we've.
I know. Well, just we watched Hegemony Part 1 the other night just to refresh ourselves on it. Even though I knew
Yeah.
there'd be a previously on Star
Yeah.
Trek: Strange New Worlds.
I know.
And
We
now the
always do our predictions. So this morning I was walking the dogs and I thought, I predict the first words we're going to hear is previously on Strange New Worlds.
And now the conclusion.
And now the
Yeah.
conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice that they did that. That was a nice tie back.
Yeah. It was good.
All right. So yeah, overall thoughts on the episode. Was it satisfying after? Now, granted, they had nothing to say over how long this wait was, but was it satisfying enough for a close to 2 years wait for this conclusion?
I'd say a 1 year wait. two is a little extreme. It better be really damn good. It was good. If I had to give a rating, are we doing ratings again?
We are, but we're
Yeah.
not there quite yet. But
Oh, we're not there quite yet. Yes, I enjoyed it. I thought it was worth the wait. Of course, any Strange New Worlds is worth the wait for me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I thought it was good. I thought it had good tension. There were a couple of weird things I was like, look strange call outs. But otherwise I really enjoyed it. One of the things I was going to bring up is when they had her on the table and then we're looking at the Gorns and stuff. I was like, it's not even a surgery table. It's just they turned her over on a chair. There's no blanket, nothing. They're getting ready to do surgery and there's nothing.
It's where you normally sit to donate blood.
Yeah, really.
Just a couple of things like that caught me off, but I thought it was fantastic. I was involved or interested in Ortega living because I was getting upset there for a minute. So, yeah, there was a lot going on, and I thought it was a worthy follow up. How about
Yeah,
you?
I thought I liked it, but I just thought they were trying to cram in so many things going on in the episode that nothing got tons of attention, and I think it suffered a bit because of that.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think I have a note here about how long the episode is. I don't think it ran that much longer than a normal episode.
Mm-mm.
The like the 50 or 52 minutes type of thing. But we went over all these different things. You've got the stuff with Scotty and Pele. You've got the stuff with Captain Patel. You've got the stuff with Chapel and Spock. You've got stuff going on with number one and Uhura, researching this stuff. You've got scenes on the ship, scenes on the Gorn ship, all the stuff. We find out that the Gorns don't believe in windows.
Although I did see one looking out one as it was flying.
They're
Well,
Mac users. They don't use Windows.
I saw I had that picture in the video, if you're watching the video playback, of the Gorn looking straight ahead, but I think that was at a heads-up display.
Yeah.
And then when it turned to the side, that same one turned to the side. At first I thought, oh, it's looking out a window, but I thought, no, I think it's just because the theory that Uhura has is that they now use biometrics and all these other things. It was sensing that there was something going on over there, and it was going to, like all the other ships, turn and go in that direction. So I think it was weird that it looked like it was looking out
Yep.
towards the side, but I think it wasn't. I think it was actually just kind of, now the question is, okay, if there's no window, Ortegas is going to be really good at this, because does she have a display? We didn't see anything that looked like really a display going in front of her. So I guess she had the same heads up display, and
Yeah.
she flies the ship indeed. Indeed.
Hey, I'm maybe getting ahead of myself, but did they pick on Pike and his hair products?
Yes. That might have been in the next episode.
I think it was at the beginning of
Yeah.
the next episode.
Although, if you're interested, there is a video that they put out which shows you the entire process that Anson Mount goes through in the makeup chair to have the hair done.
Just
It's a hair styling tutorial about all the stuff that has to happen.
Why aren't you wearing your hair like that then?
Because it involves all that stuff that has to happen. There's lots
Yeah.
of product involved and lots of,
Yeah.
and Anson Mount is just sitting in the chair. He's not doing any of this stuff. It's the hairstylist is doing all the stuff. So you bring in a hairstylist. We'll talk at that point, but
Yeah.
not
All right.
until
Sorry
then.
if I got ahead of myself, but I just remember laughing out loud when she called him out on it.
All right. So what system are we going to be rating this on?
Sleeping Gorns.
Sleeping Gorns. Let Sleeping Gorns lie.
Gorn eggs.
I feel like we did. I'm not sure what we rated Hegemony on, if Hegemony was Gorn eggs or something like that.
Here's listener Diane.
How about what is it? X flares. How many X flares?
X-flares.
There we go.
All right.
X-flares.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. I will start X flares on this one. As I said, I was satisfied that we got a conclusion to the story.
Yes.
I just felt that we're putting a lot of stuff in there. So I'm going to go with this one 8.75 with this one.
All
Who's
right.
next?
Craig, you go next.
I'll go with that same score. I think that it wasn't quite a 9 or a 10, so I'm gonna go for 8.75 because I thought it was pretty dang good.
Had you made me go first, I would have also said 8.75.
Oh, it's a three-peat.
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
as soon as you said, okay, pick a number, I had one in mind, and then Clinton went 8.75. Wow, what a clinky dink. I mean, I
Yeah.
could have written it down like it was, match game or something, and then you hold it up and show the audience what you wrote down.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Speaking of foreshadowing.
All right. Well, it's time to come back from our first main mission with an appropriate sound effect.
The main viewing screen.
There you go. Look out the window.
Nothing on sensors, Captain.
Well, we have Windows, so yeah.
Yeah, I got a Mac.
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to try to do a little bit of subspace chatter, but of course, we then have to get permission, or at least be nice enough to ask Charlie. And we don't know if we're going to get Charlie or Charlie X any given week. It could be either of them. So I'm going to ask Charlie, are we all set to go with subspace chatter?
Sure thing, friend. I love subspace chatter. Let's get going.
I like how he sounds so intense when he says that.
All right, good old Charlie. It's
Uh.
Mirror Charlie, our buddy.
Chocolate Charlie.
Yes. Okay, we'll start off. We received an email from William McIntyre letting us know about a site that they have created called Are We There Yet? And it's not about travel and so forth. This one is the purpose of the site is to look at where we stand in terms of science and technology today and how it is progressing towards the future that is envisioned in Star Trek. So the site uses a slick LCARS interface, and you can browse the various categories. So if you click on any one of the categories on the site, it will give you some of the technology that you see in Star Trek and where any research on that topic may be going on today.
Nice.
So I thought was pretty cool.
Hmm.
All right.
We got our flip phones.
Yes, we did.
Been there and gone.
And I believe we also-
there's some still around.
Oh, wait, they're coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe we also have transparent aluminum at this point.
Yes, we did.
All right. Chuck, you're next.
Well, this morning, the Television Academy announced its nominations for the 77th Annual Emmy Awards, and Star Trek landed 2 of them.
Woohoo!
Star
Wow.
Trek Lower Decks has been nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Sound Editing for an animated program for the episode The New Next Generation, which was the season 5 and series finale. It is competing with Arcane League of Legends, Love, Death, and Robots, Secret Level, and What If. Star Trek Section 31 was also nominated for an Emmy Outstanding Sound Editing for a limited or anthology series, movie, or special. These title names are long.
I
Yeah, they are.
know.
It is competing with Adolescence, Black Mirror, The Gorge, and The Penguin.
Quack, 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 quack.
The Black Penguin. No. Gorge the Black. Anyway, the 77th Emmy Annual Awards will be hosted by Nate Bargatze and broadcast live Sunday, September 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on CBS Television Network, and available to stream live and on demand on Paramount Plus.
I demand you stream it live. Oh, I see. You can do both. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, if you're a member of the Master Replicas Collectors Club and you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, you can pick up a sweet, sweet, sweet deal. Okay, logical collectible. Master Replicas will be offering club members an exclusive Logic Key plush. Do you have a picture of it there? Yep, you
I know
sure
it
do.
does.
Yeah, I see it now. As you recall, Logic Key was created when the holographic Badgie had a major malfunction and was removed all logic from his code. So it's priced at $24.99. Logic Key and other Mass Replicas Collectors Club, exclusives will be available in person at booth 531 and 533, or is that through? I guess the whole.
Well,
Maybe
they
two
take
different
up two whole blocks there.
Yeah, so 531/533, and the new stock release every day of the convention. Wow.
Very cool. Yeah. So Comic-Con is coming up. I believe it's next week. So we probably will get something from Starfleet Academy, I'm assuming. It will be
Surely.
another Hall H presentation. So I think it's an hour and a half, just like it usually is for Star Trek.
Nice.
And so we'll have the cast or whoever's there, I guess not filming at this point, of Strange New Worlds and Starfleet Academy. And usually we get a trailer or a clip or something out of the panel. So
Mhm.
we'll keep our eyes and ears open for what happens there.
How many badgies did we get? Badgie, Goodgie, Logic-y? Was it just the 3?
I think it was just the 3 because Logic-y kind of died right on the ship. It just couldn't really. It didn't. It Logic-E didn't really function all that well.
Right.
Yeah, there were three distinct ones: Badgie, Good G. That was hard to say, and Logic-E.
I think we need more.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. All right. And in Vulcan, Alberta, Canada news, I thought I would have the dates on here, but I don't have them. However, you can go to the site to find out because we're almost up to Vulcan 2025. What? That's right. Not only that, but from time to time I go to the site to see what's up. And somebody went in there and redesigned their entire site. It's now got all these videos and moving graphics, and they exactly, Eric's. No, not that much. I mean, well, okay, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because
settle down, Eric's.
they also have he's excited about something else going on as well. They also, in the visitor center, which we've talked about before, they now have a back room there that has displays of Star Trek things, uniforms, and all these other things in this. So they've done a major kind of upgrade to the whole visitor center in Star Trek Station as well.
We're gonna have to go.
Yeah. So I think next year is kind of, I think we got to put a
pin on the map
and say we're headed to Vulcan.
That's right.
Or Spock Days, whichever. But
I was gonna say we were invited to be MCs for Spock Day. Wait, no,
we weren't.
That was to follow the parade and clean up the streets.
Yeah, that was to fetch water for Conan, who never showed. No, I'm not going to go.
Can't believe I've come millions of miles, thousands of miles.
All right, that's all we have as far as news at this point because we've got a lot of Trek episode to talk about. But I'll be filling up the old show notes with a lot more Star Trek stuff. And there's a lot of Strange New Worlds articles in here, but what a surprise. Sure. Yeah. But there are other things that are going on. Including
there's I'm sorry, go ahead. Including what?
Oh, well, including some news. Well, I wouldn't call it news, but some insight into one of the last Star Trek 4 Kelvinverse movies that didn't happen.
Oh yeah.
But nothing new about a new movie.
Yes, so. I was gonna say there's even a story here. I wouldn't say it's breaking news about the Star Trek kiss that broke ground for race relations.
No, but one of the reasons that I put that stuff in there is because I find that there's always somebody who that's new to, right?
That's true. No, that's fine. Of course, it just seems comical thinking how long ago it's been since that happened. But yeah, no, you're totally right.
So yeah, I was trying to keep that in mind that, just like Strange New Worlds is somebody's first Trek or Prodigy's first somebody's Trek or Discovery, they don't know all the history, and it's a good idea to, help them learn about some of that stuff. All right. So with that said, we're going to leave Subspace Chatter. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to our friend Charlie.
Charlie.
Thanks for having me along. It was fun. But now my Phasian step-parents are calling, so I gotta go! 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 Go!
Man, he really likes to go, doesn't he?
Takes him forever.
When you get older.
I thought he'd never leave.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, before we start getting into the review for the next episode that we were talking about tonight, I did purchase it's a comic called Star Trek Omega, which is a wrap up. I think it's a short wrap up series. It's like, when I say series, like 3 episodes or something, to the Star Trek Lore War comic book series. And I don't know why I didn't read Lore War, and I thought, oh, you know what? I'm gonna read Star Trek Omega and see what's going on.
A lot happens by that point.
Yeah, well, by the time I started reading, I'm like, okay, I'm obviously familiar with all these characters, but I don't know what the hell they're doing because I should have read the Lore War, so I'm about to go back. Anyway, have you read these, Clinton?
Well, doing all the show notes, I get to see the information about the articles as they're going along. the editions that are coming out. I did want to mention I was gonna talk about, but we just a lot of stuff that's going on. There's another Humble Bundle that's come out that's a bunch of Star Trek comics.
Oh,
So I think that we'll talk about trying to like coordinate this time to see if we can all get that one, and because I think we really should be talking more about the comics. It's to me, it's somehow a question of like, how do you present that? Because with a normal episode of the show, chances are that somebody has seen the episode on television, and now they're going to, we're going to talk about it. But the comics is probably more specialized, but I don't think it should be left on the wayside. So we have to figure out how to do that.
yeah. Oh, is this the Star Trek Comics Mega Bundle? Is that what you were talking about?
On Humble Bundle, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
okay.
like it's like $24 for I forget how many, like 96. I don't know, some weird
93. Yeah, that's a
93.
lot of.
So
I think these are newer ones, so I might be interested in doing that. I think I did this last time, and I went through a lot of them, but there's still a lot of them I haven't read yet.
well, but we talked about a couple of months ago one that unfortunately expired before you guys could take advantage of it. And one of the things that was included in it was the Lower Decks Choose Your Own Adventure book, which is called Warp Your Own Way, because Choose Your Own Adventure is a copyrighted term and you can't use that term.
Oh, it's in here. Yeah.
The frustrating part about it was that the playback, the reader for it, which I'm not sure if it was IDW's or not, was not conducive to nonlinear reading.
Oh,
So it would say like, okay, so this happens, and then Mariner's going to do either this or that, and it tells you, go to page 24 or 116, 25, 26, 27.
oh,
Yeah. It just, I don't think, like I said, it wasn't conducive to a non-linear format, which why would you need that for a comic? But, I felt frustrated. Well, I know the page number. If I could just type in the page number, I would go there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that, that might be a drawback. I was doing it on my phone. Maybe if I'm looking at it in some other media, maybe there's a better viewer for it, because it was a good book, and it really is true to Lower Decks people wrote it, but it was very true to it that it pulled in stuff from everywhere. Just like an episode of Lower Decks where you got some from TOS, and here's some stuff from Voyager, and here's some stuff from there and from there and there, all over the place in different scenarios that would come up. So I really wanted to read more of it, but I was getting tired of the flipping pages.
Oh.
and I say that in many ways, the flipping pages. That I was kind of.
Yeah, what do you really mean there?
Yeah.
All right.
So we should check out the new Humble Bundle, and as should people out there check that out as well. All right. So let's go on to Main Mission Part 2, and who wants to read the little synopsis there? I guess the computer does.
No, I can
you
do it.
needed a sound effect to come back into Main Mission.
Oh my, yes.
Yeah. All right, Main Mission Part 2. Okay, so Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Wedding Bell Blues, written by Kirsten Bayer and David Reed, directed by Jordan Canning. And the short synopsis is, when the Enterprise prepares to celebrate the founding of the Federation, something seems to go slightly wrong, and Spock and Chapel end up planning their wedding day. Their
Wendy Day. They're going to go to Wendy's or Arby's
Wednesday.
or something. I don't know. One of those things.
They start planning their Wednesday.
Well, let's continue. I guess no, I can't meet you that day. I got something going on.
I'll meet you in the food court at 1 o'clock for a quick lunch. And no.
Okay, so talk about a 180 from Hegemony Part 2.
Yeah.
I would say so. By the way, they picked on Pike for his hair products.
Yeah, I heard something. Something mentioned.
I think they even had an opening shot of like hairbrushes and stuff too.
They did. They had the two hairbrushes side by side, and then they had the two coffee mugs side by side, and then a little container which had a Star Trek a Delta shield and earrings, I think, in it. It was just like So
Well, I thought it was funny that's right. I forgot earlier in this episode that this is the episode they talked about his hair, and then you see Spock fixing his hair, and then you see. Should I go ahead and spoil it?
well, the wedding planner.
The wedding planner, and Dorian was fixing his hair. I was like, what does it do with hair this time?
Well, it's also it's a lot of reflections, looking in reflections.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
thing as well. So I know whether it was just the director being artsy. Well, we're going to do this thing here where they're going to you're going to see, but I mean, they needed to use it at some points because so the first thing we need to talk about is probably the big thing to talk about here, right?
Yeah.
Is that you have this person supposedly who comes on board, yet they clearly are not what they seem to be, because the first time you encounter this person in what was it called? The port galley, I guess instead of like 10 forward, this was called the port galley. You see the reflection of this person that's supposed to be the bartender walking up to the counter, and the reflection is of this person with a weird bow tie, but it's a Vulcan. And then you pan up,
Yeah.
and it's not a Vulcan.
It's a human, and,
But
and other people are referring to him as Andorian.
Yeah, Spock says, I did not know we had a
Vulcan
Vulcan bartender
Right.
on board. Yeah, and then you see him again, as Craig was saying, he's looking at his reflection in a pad, and he's an Andorian.
And even Pike and somebody else mentioned an Andorian too. Like, what? What? We're clearly seeing the same character in different
Mm-hmm.
lenses.
Right. So they this becomes the mystery about what's going on here. Although right from the get-go, he's acting like somebody that we are very familiar with.
Yes, it was kind of a giveaway for the character, but they never used the name from TOS.
They didn't, however, let's see. I think this is a note I saw on Memory Alpha. Hold on, bear with me
I was
here a
just
second.
They just referred to him as the wedding planner.
Well, it says, according to an interview with Akiva Goldsman, the wedding planner, while not named in the episode itself,
Yep.
is actually Trelane
From Squire of Gothos.
from the Squire of Gothos.
Yeah. Because I did
And-
look it up later
and-
after I saw it.
And the voice we hear, and
Is,
yeah,
of
it's
course,
John Delancey. It is Q.
Yeah,
So
which
they were-
a lot of
They were
people.
mixing those together.
Well,
there-
that's been a suspicion in Star Trek lore for a while that
And it's very much a part of beta canon already. I think one of the comics kind of went that
Yeah.
route.
that the Q is Trelane's parents, or Trelane is a
Well, Trelane is a Q.
junior Q. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a member of
Hey.
the Continuum.
I just want to point out when they said that Ray's Darby was in an episode coming up.
Mhm.
I knew, and I stated it on the show. I was right. It was Trelane.
Yes, well, I think the outfit was kind of giving it away right from the get
No, this is
go.
before. No, this is
Oh.
before I even saw a picture of him. They just announced it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I remember going, "Oh, he looks just like." I'm sorry, who was it that played?
William Campbell.
Campbell.
Yes.
Oh.
I thought, oh, he looks. He's a dead ringer for him, especially after seeing him on Our Flag Means Death.
Right. We also get another person that's from TOS in here as well, because we get Roger Corby.
Yes.
And Roger Corby, now the actor said that he did during the auditions, he did do an American accent. He did do a couple of accents, but they decided to go with his natural speaking voice. They said, well, no, that's what they wanted to do. They said, okay, go out. So that's fine by me to go with that. I don't really have a big problem with it because,
No.
Let's face it, he's an android later on. So what's the difference?
He can reprogram himself anyway.
That's right. He wrote, but this is another episode where, man, I think much like O'Brien gets beat on in Deep Space Nine, Spock gets beat on left and right. It seems like with
This was a
emotions.
sad Spock episode, but it was kind of funny watching him try and bring Sam into reality. Nobody likes your mustache,
Yeah. I was digging deep.
and you have poor taste in wine.
Yeah. He even tasted it and said you have more taste in It's like, wow.
Man, too much. We also got when we also get to see Sam do another awkward dance. So that was,
Yeah. The whatever he
Uh,
was doing over in the corner.
yeah. With
Wasn't he
with
dancing with two other people doing the same awkward dance?
Yeah, I think they were Andorians that he was dancing with.
Yes, he
It's
was.
an Andorian dance. Who, for all we know, it was a cool thing and he did it really well.
But it could be. I'm not saying. It seemed awkward to me. But Sam usually dances awkward. I don't know.
Sam, it's a mating dance. Don't do it.
Sam, no,
I'm
Sam,
bringing
no,
that to
stop.
the Star Trek cruise.
Yeah. That's right.
All right, so they're there for what is it? The 200th,
The 100, the
100, okay.
centennial of the Federation.
right? And so we go through the whole opening, and here's the plot point. Here's the beat where Spock is doing his log entry. Here we see the situation where he's dancing with La'an to try to learn how to do this dancing for Christine's return, and all these things. And then we go through them again the next day. It's almost like one of these, Groundhog Day things, but everything's the same, but nothing's the same
Right.
about what's going on.
Right.
And then we find out that everyone's here not to celebrate, the founding of the Federation, but
Voting.
yeah.
And the only one who remembers is Roger.
Yes, Roger doesn't fare all that well in this episode either, I suppose. I mean, being turned into a dog and all, but
We got punched too by Spock.
that's right. He got punched.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Punched hard, knocked him right out.
He got to wear a nice laurel leaf, in his hair, the flower,
I like how the wedding planner said, "Can you please be a friend and stand over there?"
Yeah. I've got something special for you to do. Like,
Yeah.
just wait for me way over there, please.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
And I'd have to go back and look, but I felt like what Christine Chapel was wearing when she was on the transporter, but when they first came back, that green color reminded me an awful lot of those kind of scientist colors and uniforms that they would wear on TOS. I don't know whether Roger Corby had one of those, but it seemed like it was that
Like a
kind
field
of
uniform
an
kind-
outfit.
Field.
Pike was wearing his green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. I think we'd seen him
Yep.
wear that one before.
Yeah, we've seen him once or twice, maybe.
There it is.
But yeah, we find out that a bachelor party for
Spock. Bad
yes.
idea.
what exactly do you do with that? I don't know.
But it's
We-
nice to know they have Guinness in that century.
And
Yeah.
that was very interesting. So I noticed this, and I would say that probably somebody from says, well, that's not drinking, that's just part of life. Because here's Scotty saying, well, I don't really drink, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But the first thing he does is he orders some Guinness.
Well, wait a minute. No, he said that, and then a little bit later, you see him reaching for the bottle.
Yeah. I noticed that he had a little bit in his glass because he was doing,
Yeah.
a cheers thing. And then, when he had that Vulcan
Yeah.
delicacy,
Put up. Yeah.
yeah, pass that. And once again, we have, the Saurian brandy that everybody loves until the next morning. And then they all go, why ddid I do that?
Just like Romulan ale. It's like,
Exactly. We got to see a new set in this one. We got to see this new sciencey room with like 10 billion monitors all over the walls.
Didn't we say this briefly? Because it's got water under the floor.
We'd seen a photo of it before. I know.
Yes, that was
we-
it. It was the
Yeah,
photo.
and I don't think it wasn't from the still which they released was not from this episode because Spock is in like one of those hazmat type of
Yes.
suits, and
Yeah.
it wasn't in this. So there's clearly another episode where this stuff happens, but it kind of debunks the theory that there's water there because this is also cetacean ops
Mhm.
on the Enterprise. Which is a shame because I'd like to see, two belligerent beluga whales, please. But
Why didn't you ask us to the party? I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. So odd stuff is happening in this episode, but I don't know. It just felt to me like it was a romp, but they've done better romps than this.
Yeah.
It seemed to not really have a place to be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was nice to see, Spock do the right thing when he's standing up there giving his vows and he's, bringing Christine into reality because he knew he had to do it. He said, well, another powerful emotion is love. So
Mm.
he made wonderful speech.
Yes,
and
he
then
did.
she goes, "Oh, this is wrong." Uh, that was it was a sad Spock story more than a fun Trelane story.
Right.
Well, I will say I thought that Ray's Darby did a great job. I enjoyed his character for a while because he was I like his personality and the way he was acting.
Towards the
Um,
end, he was definitely full on Trelane.
Oh yeah.
I was
yeah.
having fun.
That's right.
Oh,
Oh.
Dad.
And by the way, the episode that Trelane was in was Mirror Machine. Is the name of the title of it?
No,
And
it's Squire of Gothos.
Squire of Gothos.
I'm looking at it right here. Mirror.
Yeah,
I'm
Squire of-
sorry. His Mirror Machine, rather. His mirror was the one.
It was an amplifier.
Right. Well, remember we saw the reflections and stuff.
Mhm. Oh,
So-
well,
I thought that was. I thought
Okay.
it was
There was a
related.
tie-in. Okay.
no,
maybe
I like
tie-in
that.
into
I like
there.
that idea. I like that.
Mhm. Yeah, I meant his Mirror Machine, not necessarily the episode. But yes, that's what I'm talking about. I think there was a lot of reflections because of that.
I also thought that there was unintentional nod to Star Trek Beyond when Spock is trying to choose which outfit to wear, and he's holding up two of the same thing.
It was the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like when Chris Pine's Kirk opens up the closet, and it's all the same uniform.
And we're getting a 3-armed bartender.
Yeah, well, that's the part that I thought. I think that the last 3 minutes, we throw out a couple things in here, which is like the entire episode takes place in the last 3 minutes, right? Because you have the resolution with Corby and Spock and Chapel. You also have the Adosian show up, who
And
is
Ortega's
recruited.
in the
Well,
gym.
no, wait. Now,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
the Adosian is recruited to come on board the Enterprise. So now you've got an Andosian on the ship. Now, is the Andosian just going to be a bartender on the Enterprise, or will that lead to something else? And we don't know the bartender's name.
Right.
Bartender's name could be Eric's for all we know.
Maybe they gender swap Eric's.
Well,
Who's
I
got
mean,
the
I know
last
you
laugh
know, I know you know, but Eric's, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Then a very quick, very short thing happens at the bar after they're talking about the drink that that'll melt your esophagus, and then whatever's below there, and probably
Yeah,
the
from
the
the
floor of the
floor.
ship. And this person comes up and talks to Mbenga, introduces himself, and that's all you see.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, is this the beginning of Mbenga's transition off
Yeah.
of the ship?
It's got to be, or at least.
It's early in season 3, though. We still have
No, I mean,
Yeah, I'm not
two
saying
episodes to go.
it's going to happen right away, but I'm
Right.
wondering.
long tail.
Right. So if you're getting this first hint that there's something there,
Yeah.
then we've got stuff going on with Ortega's, because she just leaves the party and starts just pounding away on the punching bag and sees a reflection
Yep.
of a Gorn behind her. Again, alluding back to what's going on in her head in the previous episode, which to me was like, that makes total sense. Knowing the way she seemed to be acting in that other episode. But I'm thinking, okay, you have an Adosian coming on board,
And
who
she says, "Can my
theoretically,
boyfriend come too?"
Yeah.
who suddenly could possibly sit in the chair. So I don't know whether
Despite the third leg.
so I don't know whether they're all setting, but it just seemed like all that stuff was happening in the very, very end of the episode.
Yeah. Well, if you think about TAS, you had Eric's there with Kirk, so it could be possible they'll have him on there for a while, whether it's this Andosian or somebody else. During the beginning of if they do another series after this with Kirk and Spock and everybody.
Right. I mean, also if the Adosian is a bartender, could go off to actually go to Starfleet, get training, and then end up coming back to the Enterprise later on, right? So I just thought it was interesting because here we were talking about Eric's. We're never going to see Eric's. We're never going to see Eric's. And all of a sudden, well, is that really true? Because I get a feeling that they're kind of hinting that maybe this may happen.
Did I tweeted Keith Guzman a long time ago. I don't know that he ever replied, but I was like, "Hey, we're gonna be seeing Eric's, right?" Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go back and look and see if he actually replied. I don't think he ever did.
If he did, it'd be gold, I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. Do you think we're going to see Ortega's brother again? I couldn't tell if that was the one off or not. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think
Seem to have the hots for Uhura.
I think that we're going to see a little bit more of that for sure.
But he talked about doing this documentary about Starfleet or was it Starfleet or the Federation? But I didn't. That sound like, oh, here's my out to be. Well, I can't stay here around you guys because I've got to go make this documentary thing. Or maybe he's back in another episode doing part of the documentary, which is another possibility. It would seem like weird to have him there for just this episode and be gone. I think I agree with you on that.
We were also introduced to some new guy in
Yes.
grade taking blood who doesn't
Yes.
listen well and falls asleep a lot.
Well, I mean, he was joking about that.
Yeah, I know he was joking.
Yeah, and I don't think that character is named in the episode. So I don't know if in these credits here.
Excuse me.
I don't know who that actually is. Because I've listened watched the episode a couple of times and I don't recall them saying a name for the character. So I don't think it's somebody that we know, but I thought it was interesting that, now we're getting new people on board the ship. Well, new people sometimes means we're not going to have some of these old people. And I don't mean by their age, I mean existing cast members. Like,
Right.
if you bringing in this new person to be in sick bay, maybe another indication that Mbenga may be heading out to do something else. Now we know that in TOS he spent time on Vulcan, so it's possible that this is kind of leading into that happening. I don't know, because that wasn't a Vulcan that came up to him. I don't know what species that was who was talking to him.
Yeah, I have to go back and look. I watched it earlier this morning.
All right. So anybody have
Ready to
anything?
rate this?
Was that?
Are
Yeah.
we ready to rate this?
How about on that's too long to read it on little
Dogs.
oh no what was the names for the hors d'oeuvres were?
Oh,
Was
there
it
were two of them. There were the ones that were terrible.
there was either ones that were
Oh, the ones that
Volmans.
Pike was giving him?
Volmans are Hucons, right?
The ones that Pike made?
No.
You mean the Gargle Blaster?
The
No,
dessert?
no. What, you guys are way off. When Trelane is saying, "Oh, and I made these. This is a fusion thing that for the
Yeah.
to serve." And
Yeah,
had these
okay.
little hors d'oeuvre things. It was either I think it was a Volman or a Hucon.
Oh, that's right. He was trying to name the first one.
Yeah.
Right. So let's rate it on Volmans.
There you
Because
go.
Oh,
why not?
man.
So we went this way. We'll start with Chuck this time.
All right. I'm going to give this one 7.5. It was fun and all. And it was sad to see Spock go through what he went through, but he ultimately came out. I'm kind of surprised that he wasn't able to push his emotions down more. He is half Vulcan and he's learned to control his emotions. So he shouldn't have, watching him physically get excited when Christine was on the transporter pads, like, Christine, like, first of all, it should
I've
have
got to
been,
go.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah, she's
It is
here.
pleasing to see you again.
yeah. So it was a little over the top for his emotional state, I thought. So there were a couple things that just kind of didn't gel with me on those one, but overall I enjoyed it. So 7.5.
Okay. And how about you, Craig?
I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't want to score it too high because I I don't think it was as strong as it could have been. Although I enjoyed seeing Turlane, and of course I kind of chuckled when I heard, you know, Q's voice coming out of the
Oh yeah.
dome, because I was like, oh, they're really tying this one together. So there was some fun stuff. Oh yeah, I'll give it a 7.5 at least.
Okay. I'm going to give it a
9.93.
no. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
6.5. Well, okay.
Yeah. The thing that I did not like the most about it,
Hmm.
it was exactly the same ending as Squire of Gothos. There was no.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was
Yep.
no twist on it. There was no other thing. If you want to say, well, the fact that it was Q is the twist, or that
No.
it ties stuff together, it's not enough when you may not know that, right? And so you watch that, and then you watch the Squire of Gothos and go, but that's the same ending.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same ending.
Parents
Yeah,
call
you're
them
exactly right. And I thought this. I do remember thinking that because I kind of I chuckled at that too. I was like, it's the same way they ended the other one.
Yep.
So, yeah, I still
All right.
I'm sticking by my 7.5.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. As you should. As you
You know,
should.
you know what? I'm gonna give it a 7.51.
There you go. You're a rebel.
I'll show you.
The actual retail price
Man.
without going over.
Yeah, I'm sticking it to the man.
All righty. But with all that said, I believe it is time to refill the dilithium chamber and try to warp on out of here.
Oh,
So you can find me at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4.com. I have another episode coming up pretty soon, but I'm also working on another project that the patrons will hear before people in the regular feed will hear probably by a couple of months. So if you want to be a patron as well, this is a good time to become a patron of the show. All right. And who speaks for you guys?
Chuck does.
All right, you can find us by searching for Technorama Podcast. Craig and I do a sort of weekly. We try weekly. That's spelled weekly with 2 E's, not EA.
I was gonna say weekly.
We try to do this weekly. Fun podcast about nerd stuff, science, sci-fi. You get the idea. Some of it's original material, some of it's repurposed, but we have a good time with that. Technorama Podcast.
One of us is funny, one of them's not. I'll let you decide.
Watch the show. Watch the show and decide for yourself.
One thinks he's funny, the other has a sense of reality.
Don't be so down on yourself, Chuck.
And decide which one for yourself. I've pointed in the wrong place before. Now I'm pointing straight
Yeah.
ahead. That's
That's right.
much better. All right. Time to hit the theme, boys.
This one?
If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Blue Sky at The Topic is Trek. Visit our Facebook page or call us at 816-TREKKER. That's 816-873-5537. Until next time, on behalf of Chuck, Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek, don't put on the red shirt.
Or kiss a Gorn.
But try some of the Hulkons.
Audio recording is stopped.
All right.
All righty.
And I need to excuse myself for just a couple minutes.
All right. Well, let's end the stream while Chuck starts his stream.
Okay. And on that note, bye, everybody.
Bye.